What's up, guys? Millennial Waterfowl here, back to you guys with yet another video. So we're going to talk about the boat. I've been working on the boat, been getting her going. Let me show you guys what I got going on right here. So I've pretty much got most of it where I almost completely want it. There's a few things I need to do. I need to brush it in. I need to get some more brush and break this up and get some bigger things popping up and get everything popping out, but it's a start as far as my base. I don't know if I'm gonna leave this. I've got another piece of this tube, this conduit, just zip tied underneath my lights on the bottom just to hold this down to kind of stretch that out a little bit. I bought a tarp from Walmart, a camo tarp for like 10 bucks. And I bought one of those mesh things so I can attach some more breakup on the top, which is going to be more natural. And then I've got myself just a bungee cord tied down here, wrapped around my light for now. And then it'll just hook right here, and then you can swing it back, swing it forward. Now I do need to paint the inside brown and get that all taken care of, but as far as the inside keeping me somewhat out of the weather, it's gonna be a pretty good hit. I'm gonna take this big seat out and put a bench style seat down there. I've got some of the wrap that'll come over and connect to the back of the boat, and it's gonna look a lot better. It's nothing fancy, it's just a little 14-foot boat, but you know, it's gonna get me where I need to go and gonna get me into those tight spots. Got the pod lights, got the GPS fish finder, got the floor lights in there. I don't know if you can see them down there, if it'll zoom. See those LED strips? Got the floor lights. I got everything pretty much where I want it to be. So let's go ahead and let's hop on in here, and I'll take you through to it. I bought everything for this boat at Lowe's, Home Depot, same thing. I really do like the deal right here, the pipe, because I can just lift up my entire blind, and then if the wind blows, you know, it's got a little weight to it. But as you can see, I'm covered, I'm out of the weather. Got a nice little shooting gap that I can see and call birds. I mean, I don't know if I would say that it was like super cost efficient. Now obviously it's not $1,000 plug and play blind that you can go buy from the store from like Avery or some other major company. I know there's kits you can get online that are somewhat a little bit cheaper, but I just got this rabbit fence. It's weatherproof, meant to be outside. It's kind of like a rubber, it's coated. It's really good. And you could zip tie everything to it. So basically everybody like, well, you know, you got this big gap. I'm gonna put a lot of natural brush. This is just a good base. I wanted something to keep me out of the weather, to keep me warm as possible. You know, every morning you get up, you gotta go build a blind. Well, you know, you could go out and hunt, take your boat out and find a blind already and just hide the boat. Heck yeah, I'm all about it. But this gives me my little spot to do whatever I want. You know, I don't have to be in a specific spot. I don't have to worry about as much cover anymore. I can still throw some natural vegetation around the boat. But as far as like having a quality type of hunt now, as you can see, it's a bit of a mess, but you know, I've got floor lights right here, and you can see right there, turns on with that switch. Really nice and fancy. All my other lights are up on this box right over here, you can see, but my seat's a little tall. Sitting on the bench is probably going to be the best bet. I've got some rubber mats I'm going to put down for the dog, and it'll just be a nice little two-man, you know, tight with 3 guys. Just get out, get to that spot you want to get to, and maybe throw this on the sand and hunt out of it, or hunt something a little more secluded. It's bigger than a kayak. It's smaller than, you know, like a 4-man big boat. But I mean, you know, for me, having the rain roll off of you with a tarp, that's going to be really nice. I should have put some duct tape over these seams when I zip tied them, because I feel like that's just going to keep ripping, and it probably will, but I mean, it's something to get me going. It's something to get started. I've got to put a couple brace supports up right here to pick this up, and once I pick this up, I'll be able to, you know, add some more detail to it. But as you can see, the bow of the boat, we've got the big old spotlight slash LED light bar up there. Got the old troller that face forward, so you know, if we need to run and go grab a bird, we're good. But this boat is super light. It's not, I mean, it's sturdy. I mean, you could stand up in it, you can shoot in it, and it's gonna move around a little bit, but it's not like a canoe where, you know, you stand up and it's gonna flip. You know, I put the floorboards down to level everything out so it's easier to walk in. And yeah, I mean, I'm just sitting in it right now, and I'm in the shade, and we're completely in the sun. So it's really helping out a lot. I've got a couple quirks, couple kinks I want to work out and make it a little bit better. You know, but it's kind of fun building your own and just making up your own ideas and seeing what works and what doesn't work. Obviously, there's a lot of people that go out and have how to build a duck boat and how to build this, and they have their own twist on it. And this is just mine. I mean, I bought half-inch conduit. I've got, I think 10 sticks, 10 or 9 sticks. And the 2 that I had left over, I just put on the sides to kind of help stretch this out because it's been covered up. And then these will I'll probably keep these and maybe put some insulation around them so I can roll them up with the blind, because you don't travel with your blind up. I mean, not something like this. This isn't meant for that, but I mean, this is like really, really easy. You build I built a cross, as you can see. It's got a cotter pin through it. And then those guys just come down here to a little pull pin right here. You just pull this pin out, and I drilled some little brackets into my boat and sealed them up, and then you can just pull that pin out. And it's the same way in the front and the back. And then I added the little roof deal, and just kind of see how everything looks right now, how sturdy everything's going to be, how everything's going to catch the wind, how I need to plate it, if I need to adjust it. You know, you just drill another hole. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's conduit. It's cheap. But I definitely like that, you know, if you get out of the boat to go grab a duck, you can just lift the entire blind up and then put it back. The only thing I don't like is the banging, you know, that metal on metal noise. So I might, like I said, I might have to get some other things to kind of help that or cover that up, like I have back there on my little side of my boat. I've got some insulation over there that would work great. But I'm gonna hang up some lights over the head that are gonna be on a little switch like these little LED strips, so you can actually see. What's really cool about that is they change color by your phone or by a switch, so I can plug it in Bluetooth. Got it at AutoZone. It's like 50 bucks, but it was the wrong one. And I'm just gonna keep it and then throw that up top so we have some lights. So when you look down and it's still super early in the morning, and you know, I like to cook breakfast, I like to eat, I like to be warm, you know, have a cup of coffee, whatever the thing may be, you know, be able to have those little tiny things that are just, oh, your headlamp, your light's going out, your bulb's dead, you know, your battery's dead, blah, 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 blah. Just gonna slap a couple lights up there so I can see what I'm doing. It'll be much, much easier, much, much nicer. And it's these little things, guys, in waterfowl that make it so much better. I can't tell you how many times I've gone out hunting and just been physically miserable. Physically, emotionally happy, you know, you're out, you're in the woods, you're hunting, you're going for it, you're having a great time in that aspect. But you know, you get really cold, you start to get really hungry, you know, in the beginning you don't really kind of plan those things out as much, and as I've gotten older through the seasons, I'm starting to realize, you know, there's a lot of little things that I can do in the off time productively that are going to eventually help me in the long run during the time that I want it to be. You know, we can go out in the woods and I can bring a couple cans of soup, or I can bring a pound of bacon or some sausage or some venison or some duck or whatever I want to cook, and I can just throw a little Coleman stove in my boat and a couple propane tanks. And then, you know, you're not stuck eating granola bars and chips and jerky and all that crap that, you know, just kind of isn't good for your body anyway. So, you know, getting those little things figured out. Hey, what are you going to bring? Hey, what do you know, Do I have room for this? Can I make room for that? Storage, where am I gonna put my storage? Where do I wanna put my shotgun shells? How do I want to design a little box for that to keep them all in that's weatherproof, or can I buy something? Or, you know, there's just so many little things and details that you can do to make it that much better to enjoy when you go out, rather than just kind of roughing it all the time. I mean, some of those rough hunts are a lot of fun, don't get me wrong. I've been in, 3-degree weather and shot my limit, and it took 3.5 hours. And I've been out in, same thing, 3-degree weather, 2-degree weather, and not shot a single duck, not seen a single duck. And the only difference is now is that I'll be a little bit more comfortable, at least till the ice comes. Once that ice comes, it's kind of a free game for everybody. But the kicker is the rivers are usually still open. Arkansas, the Verdigris, there's plenty of rivers around here that got good current that doesn't really stop at all throughout the winter, and shouldn't ice up too much to where you can't get a boat in and out. These barges come year-round from the Gulf, the coast, and it keeps the waterway pretty open, and that's kind of where a lot of the birds like to go. There's so many little puddles and fingers and streams and cow creeks and little runoffs that the birds have so many options now that it's kind of hard just to go hunt ponds on public land, because the birds are, there's so like, I just can't reiterate how much water, little tiny ponds, that they can just stop in, as to where I used to hunt before, we didn't have a lot of, little finger ponds and little areas that we could just let the birds go and stay at, which was nice for us, because they came to one spot, they came to 3 or 4, and it worked out perfect. But here, when you have so much more options available as a bird to go and stop and get a drink, or stop and be social, or stop and sleep, it makes it harder on us hunters to try to find them, and that goes back into scouting and putting your homework in. But Oklahoma's, a lot of it's owned privately. A vast majority of the land that is in Oklahoma is owned privately, so it's kind of hard to, even when you do find them, sometimes you can't always get permission to go out. So to have the little boat and have yourself a ready blind, and this thing pops right off. It only is held on by 5 cotter pins, 5, 2 in each corner, so that's 4, and then I've got 1 brace in the back holding up the back, and I might put another one in, I might not. I mean, I'm sitting here, it's a little windy, and it's really nice. It's not bad. I'm up by the bow, and I mean, like I said, there's plenty of room for my hunter. Throw the dog right here in the middle of the bench, put a couple rubber mats down, and for 2 guys and a dog, I mean, we'd be set. Put all the decoys, pile them on top of each other and just run out. I've got the kayak, and I've got some paint, like I've been telling you guys. I'm gonna get started on it, and we're gonna brush it all in and paint it, put a light bar on it. I don't know why I love light bars. I just love being able to see where I'm going. I love being able to see what's in front of me, what my spread looks like, and then I have a little bit more understanding of everything with that. So let me know what you guys think. Millennial Waterfowl out.